Okay folks, this is another little addition to my rep wrap series. What you're looking at here is what is known as an end stop. Okay, it's basically just a little switch with a lever on it. You can see it there, it's quite delicate. That's all it does, it's just a travel don't know how to describe it. It's just to prevent over travel on your X, Y or Z axis. When your carriage or your part moves and touches that, makes a circuit or breaks a circuit, but either way it's detected by your electronics, and that then cuts off the power to the motor, thus preventing your carriage or components crashing into other components. So it's like a sort of safety switch. So I've only got one of these, right? Some people say you don't need them, but I think the majority of people are suggesting that you do. It just makes a zeroing or making your printer return to its origin a lot simpler. The downside is you need to fit them and you need to calibrate them. I've just discovered that while this is a 3-pin plug, it doesn't connect directly onto the ramps board in such a fashion. I'll show you what I mean. Now, up here, this bank of pins, you'll possibly see just above that there. I don't know if it's going to focus. This camera might be on its way out actually. Right, it'll zoom in a bit. See, that's not focusing very well at all. And the image seems to be very grainy as well. However, maybe focusing on the background. Up here, see if I can get my thumb into the frame. Up here, just below those little solders, blobs of solder, it says end stop, okay? So this bank of pins here, these are all for end stops. I don't know about this, say row of 4 over on this side, okay? But if you were to assume that it just simply plugs on there like in such a fashion, you'd be wrong. I've just been told, if you look here on the left, I don't know if you'll see it, the top bank of pins is got an S beside it, the middle bank of pins has got a negative, and the bottom bank of pins has got a plus. I've been told to avoid the plus bank completely. Your end stop should be connecting to the S and the negative and nothing else. If you connect to the plus, you'll damage the mega board which is underneath. I'm no an electrician, yeah, or a instrument tech, yeah. I don't understand what's the reason for that is, but it's something to be aware of. And certainly if you're using my videos to build your printer, certainly get that verified for your make and model of a board that you're using. I'm just following people online and I cannot verify what they say is accurate. So I'll need to basically cut that plug off, and I've got these little pin connectors here. That's them there, look. And on the other side I've got these little wee the plugs for the pin connectors. So I'll make up a little plug just for 2 pins, get that soldered into place or connected up correctly, and I'm thinking that this is not going to be long enough, the wiring, so I might have to extend that somewhat. And I don't really know where it's I'm going to fit it. I have these clips here. These were originally for end stops, okay? But the end stops that these were designed for or printed for were larger and more robust than this one. So I might just use super glue to glue that on in place, or something like that fashion. I might just maybe drill another little couple of holes into this bracket, and just use little mounting screws instead so I can remove it. But anyway, fiddly little job. That's going to take a bit of time as well. I've got a bit of good news. I've got some extra parts coming home this week. So there's been a chap on the Rip Rap channel. He's kindly donated me some bits and pieces. He's going to give me a couple of new end stops, and what else was there? There was a heater cartridge for the hot end, and a thermistor for the temperature reading of the hot end, and a few other bits and pieces. So I'm looking forward to that. Now that I've got power on the machine, I've got all the rails cleaned and oiled, and everything seems to be moving relatively freely. The Z is working correctly now, the X is working correctly, and the Y is working correctly. The only thing I say the only thing, there's probably a lot of issues still to resolve, but one of the issues that remains is to calibrate the machine. And what I mean by that is I have to determine the number of teeth on the belt, the number of teeth on the pulley, perform a calculation which I've got written down there, which will then give me a value which is then put into the firmware, so that the computer or the mega board will understand how much power needs to be applied to the steppers to move on any given axis a set distance. Okay, so I've got that remains to be done. I've also got to determine where the origin is, where I'm going to set the origin. The origin is going to be the point where the end stop starts from or returns to. Not the end stop, my apologies for that. The hot end rather, which will be mounted here. I've also got the extruder to mount yet as well. This is the mechanism for extruding the filament or the wire. That's got to be fitted, and a lot of these parts were discarded because they weren't quite fit for purpose, and I was told that with a little bit of fitting and a bit of jiggling they will work, but the boy just couldn't be bothered, so he just gave them to me. So I'll probably encounter problems along the way which will slow me down, and I'll have to try and resolve them the best I can. If I can get the printer up and running and actually printing, then I can maybe design and print parts to my heart's content, to replace parts which are maybe not satisfactory, but we'll see how that goes. That's a bit down the road yet. One of the lads on the Rip Rap channel has given me a month to get this finished, so that's all. You see, they reckon that I'm almost there. I've got most of it assembled. It's all kind of coming together now, but there's a lot of jargon still to comprehend. There's a lot of calculations and calibrations to do yet. There's still quite a lot of assembly work, and there will be instances where I get to a point and discover I don't have X material or X tool to finish the job, and then I'll have to order that up and wait for that to come home. This is what they call the hot end. This aluminium block here gets quite hot to the touch. It's what melts the plastic. That's got to be assembled correctly and calibrated. This here is the temperature sensor, but the problem being, I don't know what this temperature sensor is. I don't know what manufacturer made it. I don't know its specifications, and these sort of types of values, you need to understand them, because as the temperature rises, there's a variance in the sensor, in the reading that it measures, and that's on like a data sheet when you buy these things from your manufacturer. These parts I got were just, like I said, they were discarded by someone. He donated them to me for free, but I don't have the required information to calibrate them, you see, now. So that's, it means I could, sort of judge it roughly, and then sort of slowly calibrate it until I get the desired temperature range and viscosity of the plastic to be extruded through the nozzle there. But that would waste a lot of filament, and the filament's quite expensive, and it might be cheaper just to buy a new thermistor here, and I think that's what they're called. Is it thermistor? Or I think that's a thermistor. The other bit's the thermocouple, I think. I'm not quite sure. Temperature sensor, we'll call it that for now. Yeah, that's 12 minutes, folks. It's moving on quite well. I wouldn't say this is moving on quite fast, but I'm certainly getting to the point now where things are getting interesting. I'm quite enjoying the process, or the learning curve, although it is a little bit steep in places. And yeah, I really hope I can get this thing up and running soon, because I'd love to be able to start printing. So I'll leave it there for now. That's 12 minutes, and hope you've enjoyed this video, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.